Hey y'all, welcome to tonight's, I guess, beer chat, I suppose, in which I don't really talk about beer. So if you're here for reviews or discussions of alcohol, I guess, this particular video won't be the one for you. And if you're just here for alcohol reviews in general, you probably won't have much in the way of content for the next few months. Now, what you hear in the background right now, it is 10:30 in the evening on the 31st of December, so it's New Year's Eve. I have me here, my last two cans of spare beer. What do I mean by that? That just means beer that's not being saved for aging. I have some bunch of beer that's aging in my refrigerator right now, as well as some remainder bottles of Armagnac and absinthe, just like the butt ends of those bottles in my cabinet right now. And yeah, why am I saying the last two remaining beers? Well, obviously January is in an hour and a half, so I better get to cracking this open because I actually want to finish these beers before midnight. It's only two of them. So this is New Belgium's triple. It's a Belgian style triple, obviously. And it's one that I'm pretty fond of. It's something that's entered my rotation recently. Because it is an affordable Belgian style beer. Rather rare in Hawaii. Not the Belgian style beer, but affordable ones. And that is relatively speaking. Which kind of brings me to the crux of what I'm getting at here. That's such a nice phenolic smell. I'm going to miss this. I've mentioned this several times in the past. I've taken dry Januaries for several years now running. I've always found it's really good for resetting my palate, as well as resetting my tolerance, especially after the holiday season, where I can literally, by this point, I can put away 4 beers and not feel anything. The stretch from Thanksgiving to New Year's is usually one that involves a lot of drinking with family and what few friends I have left in this state. And I've mentioned this in the past, and it is becoming increasingly more difficult for me to regularly review beers, or really anything for that matter. I've I've scrimped, I've saved, and I've been able to keep this running for at least a couple years where it's not really economic as a hobby for me. And also, too, I've kind of come to the realization that I sort of want to do other things. And, that takes the investment of time and energy that, is best done sober. And, so that's another reason why there's going to be an extended dry January. Excuse me, I'm a little bit hoarse. There's a lot of smoke in the air right now from the firecrackers. And yeah, so where was I going with this? You know what? What a better way to go and get rid of this hoarseness? Mm. And I really want to get back into my original love of writing and reading. I have a lot of books here, but you know, one of my life goals that I've never accomplished, and that is still accomplishable, at my level of income, is writing a book. And not necessarily publishing. Publishing is the hard part. But I believe the satisfaction will be in me writing a book, and writing a book that's not like my, my master's thesis or an extended research or anything like that. Like either decent fiction or poetry. You know what I mean? And while the stereotype of the alcoholic writer is one that holds true in the general zeitgeist of the culture, I find that writing and drinking I can do one but not the other. Like, getting drunk does not help my creativity, and it most certainly does not help my productivity in regards to especially rewriting and drafting, which is something I find very difficult to do. The drafting, the editing process, the rewriting and editing process. And for that reason, that's another reason why. So economic reasons, personal reasons, I want to achieve some goals. And I just want to reset my tolerance, and see what an extended stay away from alcohol would do for me health-wise. I've been having some issues, especially this past year. And I don't think it's all alcohol related, but I think I've been kind of distracting myself with it. Let me be frank, I do suffer from depression, and ever since 2020, it's been sort of a festering sore that I haven't really treated very well. A lot of my old coping devices I learned as a teenager and a 20-something aren't really working in this era of lowered expectations. In 2024, well, this is a politics-free channel, so let's just say I am not optimistic and just leave it at that in regards for the general direction society is going. And I think you can make that statement without any sort of clue being given as to your political leaning. But I mean, if you're going to sit here, you can probably guess what my political leanings are, but why would you do that? I try to remain apolitical for a reason. This is about the love of beer. Now, you'll probably be, even though this is being recorded on New Year's Eve, I got a backlog of about, it's not a huge one like I had in the past. It's only about like 4 or 5 videos. So you'll probably be seeing this early to mid-January because, reasons. But I'm hoping to be more productive and more on the ball about things. It's part of the reason why I'm doing this. Unfortunately, due to the financial aspect, I will still be reviewing things, but it's going to be not as frequent as it's been in the past with my reviews, just because for financial reasons, really. And like I said, I'm not saying a permanent goodbye to alcohol. I just have some other goals I want to accomplish right now. But I guess I'm making this video to say that I've been doing this, well, for 10 years already. 10 years I've been doing this. Over 1,000 videos uploaded. Well, maybe under 1,000, but, a lot of videos. And, this is probably the longest hobby I've ever had. I tend to switch in and out of hobbies. Like I said, I just want to return back to some of my original passions and pursue those. And I hope my financial situation improves somehow, whether it be by getting a second job, which is something I'm loath to do, or, well, I don't think I can get a better job. I live in Hawaii, man. Technically, my job, let's put it this way, it's a government job. In any other reasonable circumstance, I would not be as poor as I am, but I live in Hawaii. And so, I'm hoping that improves. And I'm trying to keep personally optimistic for the new year, even if I am on the overall pessimistic about the big picture of things in 2024. I am overall optimistic about my own personal direction and rediscovering things about myself that I've lost in the past few years, of movement and dislocation from the COVID pandemic. Um, and frankly, the loss of my chickens, I mean, I'm just going to admit in this video now, it really fucking wrecked me, guys. It really wrecked me. I mean, um, and because it sounded so stupid and petty to go and say, "Oh, you lost your pets," big whoop. You lost your ability to even keep pets or have a yard to go out and putter about and do things. You know, I think I never properly mourned for that because it was an incredibly important part of my life emotionally, I suppose, for my own sanity and well-being and wholeness of my psyche. And I've come in the past few months to realize that and realize I need to try to get beyond that kind of gaping hole that it left in my life. And yeah, I know it sounds so stupid talking about like you had a garden and chickens. So man, what's losing something like that? Well, I'm I'm not married. I've never been married. I've never been successful in interpersonal relationships. So having that really, really, really was something that filled that hole that I didn't even know existed until it was there. I just randomly adopted, um, an abandoned baby chick, years ago, and when I first started this job that I work at now, and it just kind of blew up from that, and you know, it really provided a lot of meaning for me in so many levels. It made me feel human. It made me feel human, and I need to get back to that, I suppose. I know this is all pretty heavy and everything, but hey, it's a passage of the old year into the new, and that's the time for talking about things like that, resolutions. And I don't like the term resolutions. It doesn't work for me. It's more like goals, um, aspirations, fixing yourself, I suppose. And I won't be able to fix everything. I pretty much believe I'm always going to be financially struggling my entire life and just kind of living on that bare edge of poverty. But to be frank, honestly, where this is like my main indulgence. Well, I also have pipe tobacco too, but I was wise about that and just stockpiled it for like years. So it's like I got enough to go and last me for like 10 to 20 years at the rate I smoke. So it's not a huge thing. And I mean, I've already rambled on for 15 minutes already. I've kept on doing this because I believe that the small audience I've had, I mean, they interact with me and I interact with them, honestly, more oftentimes in person than in comments. But even the ones in comments, you know, I feel a sense of camaraderie. And this is something that I treasure, which is why I'm making this video. You know, that I just don't go dark all of a sudden, leaving questions. I've enjoyed this. Uh, uh, I've never not enjoyed this unless I'm drinking something so abysmal it hurts my taste buds. I hope to return into enjoying this in the future. And like I said, I'll still be posting, you know, things like root beer reviews and the occasional non-alcoholic beer review. But yeah, I've enjoyed your comments. I've enjoyed your company. On this wild ride, sometimes the best thing to have is a beer. But sometimes there's also a time where you got to go and put this down for a while, and that time has come for me. And I guess that pretty much sums it all up. So this is not a goodbye, but a see you later. And not even a long see you later. I mean, like I said, I'll still be reviewing non-alcoholic beverages. just not as frequently as I did in the past. And that, folks, is your New Year's video, I guess, discussion. I know it's kind of heavy and maybe a little bit too emotional, but you know, with the audience I kind of cultivated here, where it's like a lot of friends and family members and strangers from abroad, you know, I feel like it's best to be frank. It's not like you're all anonymous to me. I know a lot of you already, and I follow your channels in return. So that's it, guys. I hope this new year is good to you, and I hope you achieve all your resolutions. And I hope I replace this potato of a camera. Guess that's it, folks. Have a very happy New Year's. Cheers.